Podcast. My name's Dalton. Joining me, as always, is my good buddy.
This is Ryan.
And this week, we're talking about, well, they're kind of bugs and they're kind of snacks. But before we get there, what you been up to this week, buddy?
You know, same old every week, but
Yeah, bud.
that was the last full week of work, so
Woo!
we start mid-semester break soon. Lots of gaming is going to be done.
Yes. So let's go ahead and hash this out now at the beginning. We're going to have time to do some longer games. So
Yeah.
did you want to push Portal 2 and go ahead and get started on an RPG, or do you want to wait until next week to do that?
We can start a longer game.
Okay, well then,
If you want,
at the end of the episode, I will I'll run it for a JRPG, because I know me and you have already whittled down a normal RPG to either Skyrim or The Witcher.
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards Skyrim just because I've been playing that recently. But The Witcher's so damn good. Speaking of, you told me that a discussion with your coworkers led you to thinking that you should play The Witcher 3 on the hardest difficulty on your first go through. And may I publicly deter you from that, sir, because that is a terrible idea unless you want to just fucking miserable throughout that whole.
Yeah, miserable's fine. Just take forever to progress through it.
No, like, you probably won't progress through it. Like that shit, those difficulties are for, like, New Game Plus and shit, man. Like, once you have built up armors, because that game is brutally unforgiving. I told you off air, but I'll tell you on air, that I remember my buddy Dustin messaging me and being like, fuck this game, it's too fucking hard, it's stupid. He goes, these fucking normal enemies are kicking my ass, I don't get it. And I was like, bro, kick it down to easy. That's what I did, and it'll make your life a hell of a lot easier. And he did, and then about 20-30 minutes later, he writes me back, he's like, oh my god, this is so much better. And then once we got our gear up, then you bump it up to normal. But dude, it's brutal. It is a brutal fucking game. Great game though. Holy shit, is The Witcher 3 good. But we can we'll hash that out later on.
Yeah.
As far as gaming news this week, I saw that Horizon Zero Dawn is making its way to GOG, which, if you don't know what that is goodoldgames.com. They are owned by CD Projekt Red, or CD Projekt Red is owned by the GOG.com, one of the two. And it will be the first Sony exclusive type game that will be on GOG. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
With the Cyberpunk delay out there, I saw that there is now a Sims 4 mod where you can make it look like your Sims are playing Cyberpunk, even though you can't.
Wow. They can, but you can't.
I also did see that somebody got a hold of Cyberpunk 2077 and streamed 20 minutes worth of it before it got flagged and taken down and all that shit.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like, man, people know no bounds when it comes to wanting to play these games. Like, it blows my mind that they delayed the game and then started getting death threats. Like, no game is that important to me. Like, the way I look at it is,
Yeah.
okay, you're going to delay it, that's fine. If you need to do some final tweaks to make sure it runs smoothly, that is freaking fine. When CD Projekt Red was doing The Witcher 3, their release date was when it's finished. Like, that was the to be determined date, was when it's finished. And I fucking agree with that, dude. You know what I'm saying? And this goes back to games like Skyrim and stuff like that, where Bethesda really relies on modders to fix the shit that they wouldn't think about fixing, or are just too lazy to. I haven't figured out which, But
Yeah.
CD Projekt Red doesn't want to do that. Like, they want to release something that is done, finished, ready to go, fucking on day one. I'm looking forward to it, dude. I'll wait till December. It's fine. I know if I were to put that game on max settings and then turn on ray tracing, my computer would shit itself from everything that I've read. And I've got a decent rig. Ray tracing is next level shit. It's fucking wild. And to see if there's any other little news. There's a new Sim bus coming out, but there's no release date yet. If you ever wanted to see what it was like to be a bus driver.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That'll be fun.
fucking huge tomorrow. Oh, I'm sorry, Tuesday is the new expansion for World of Warcraft. Shadowlands comes out. Super
Oh yeah, I forgot about
stoked about that. I can't wait to get in there and go side with the Vamp boys. That are.
You're gonna dive right into
Yeah, I'm
that.
definitely gonna be checking that out, because I've got, I don't know, like 16 days left or so on my subscription, so I'll take advantage of it while it lasts.
Right.
And they released a bunch of like lo-fi beats for each of the 4 new covens that are coming in the expansion, which I thought was pretty cool. I listened to one of them. Oh, and the one other thing is that apparently there is a Windows 1.01 emulator that you can find. If you ever wanted to see like what the original computer Microsoft Windows looked like and how it played, you can play Reversey. If you like Reversey, it's got that built into the emulator.
Nice.
Yeah, it's kind of a light news week, so I just found some interesting things here and there. But this week I've been playing World of Warcraft, man. I made a mage on Flatus, Susan, and Quentin, Shinter, their server and stuff on World of Warcraft. So I've been leveling a mage in their guild. I'm gonna try to get him to be max level so I can raid with those guys and stuff. But we'll see how that goes. I know I'm gonna take my time with it. I've gotten him to 31 and max level's 50. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and get to the reason why we are here. For anyone new, because I know this is a relatively newer game, so it might bring in some people that have never heard the show before. We have a huge back catalog of games, around 900 or so. And we run a randomizer every week to tell us which game we are going to be playing for the next. So this week we had taken a step aside from that because I got Bugsnax and I really, really wanted to play it. So I was just like, nah, we're doing an episode on Bugsnax. So we did it, and I'm going to go ahead and start it off with the obligatory Wikipedia information that is Bugsnax is an adventure game developed by the independent game studio Young Horses, who you may know because they were the developers of Octodad, the Dadliest Catch. And in Bugsnax, the player explores a mysterious island and attempt to find and capture the eponymous half-bug, half-snack creature. The game was unveiled via an announcement trailer shown during Sony's PlayStation 5 live-streamed reveal event on June 11th, 2020. The British indie pop band Caro Caro Bonito performed the game's theme song, which is one of the catchiest theme songs I've ever heard in my entire fucking life. When I was reading up on it, they were like, yeah, we wrote the song with the intention of it being an earworm. And I was like, well, you fucking succeeded, because I've been walking around all day just going, kinda bug and kinda snack, try to catch them in your trap. Just
Yeah, no, I heard the song is gaining in popularity in itself.
I was gonna say it might overtake
from the
game.
game's
Like, yeah, Bugsnax is good. Have you heard that song? It's like it's worth the $20-$40, whatever it is, just for the song. Yeah, it was crazy. The game is released on November 12th, 2020 for the PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Microsoft Windows, and Mac operating systems. Basically, you are a news reporter who one day receives a film strip in the mail from Lisbeth Megafig, which we'll get into the characters here in a second, but she is a disgraced explorer, and Lisbeth details the mysterious Snacktooth Island inhabited by creatures that they call Bugsnax, who are half bug and half snack, and encourages the reporter to come to the island and document them for the world to see. Intrigued, you make your way there onto the island, only to discover that Lisbeth's assistant Filbo Fiddlepie tells you that she has gone missing, and all the other grumpuses, which is the species that you are, that joined her on her expedition have scattered. So then that's where you come in to bring the village back together. So right off the bat, this game seems super lighthearted. Like, it's very cutesy. The Bugsnax are absolutely adorable. The one that sticks out to me is Bunger. With, Bunger, 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 Bunger. Those things were they were like Pokemon. They all said their names as they wandered around. Yeah.
Yeah, no, this was my first thought on it. Is like, this is like a Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs meets Pokemon style play, and I was like, this is cool.
I was hooked right from the start. And you meet Filbo, and Filbo, he tries. Yeah, he's so fucking
I love Filbo.
For me. He's just like, no matter what he tries, nobody fucking listens to him. He's just like, but he is like, oh, thank goodness you're here. And he tells you Lisbert's missing. He introduces you to everybody else. Well, that's still around, Ellie. And then before you go gather people up, one of the first ones you meet after Filbo is Beffica. Now, I don't know about you. I hated Beffica as soon as she started talking. When I realized that she was like the little gossip chick, I was like, oh, God, I remember people like you from high school. I will say she somewhat redeems herself, but not really. But like, I didn't hate her as much by the end of the game. But still, it was like, well, you go on and enjoy your life. Like, we're done here.
Yeah.
But yeah, her name is Beffica Winklesnoot. And that's the thing. I love the names in this game too. They're all...
Yeah, the names are fantastic. not just for the characters, but for like the Bugsnax.
I have a list of that.
Like,
you have the
they went all
Bunger,
out.
which is a rhinoceros beetle and a burger. You got Buffalocust, which is a locust and buffalo wing, flying buffalo wing. Charmello, which is a firefly and s'mores. Cheepoof, butterfly and spicy poofs. White cheddar cheese or yeah, there's all kinds. Chili Nilly is a firefly and an ice cream sandwich. There's I found a coconut and I threw it on the ground, and one of the bigger enemies that ran out, I think it was a popsicle one, smashed the coconut, and then the coconut turned into 2 Bugsnax. It was Cocomite Lesser and Cocomite Greater. It's just
oh my goodness,
so cute. It's just so ridiculous. The crapples that were crab apples. Oh god, I loved those things. And then everywhere around there, you would just see like these bags of chips, bags of snacks just on the wall. Throw your fucking trap up there and catch them. They were snack pods. And they're actually based on a creature called bagworm, which I've never heard of. So I thought that was pretty funny that they made them bags of snacks as the bagworms.
No.
The Dr. Sodies. Did you see any of the Sodies? They look like little hermit crabs, but they're cans of soda with straws sticking out for their... Oh, man.
No, I didn't.
And it was...
I don't think I got very far into the game.
So...
Yeah. I know I made it to, like, the second or third region, but I didn't... Yeah. I didn't dive into it like you did. I know you rolled credits,
really
a couple days ago?
So after you meet Filbo, you go and you meet Beffica, and she tells you... She basically tells Filbo that he is a fucking loser, and then turns to you and is like, hey, why are you with this fucking loser? She doesn't... This game does not cuss. Let me go and throw that out there. I'm just going to filthify it myself. She tells you, go handle what you need to handle, but then come back and talk to her. So then as you guys continue on, the next one you meet is Wambus Troubleham. And Wambus has a very country voice.
I love Wambus.
Like cowboy when he talks, Yeah, oh man, and when he was like, he's a farmer, and he grows plants. He's got like a ketchup plant, and you can take the ketchup and shoot it with your slingshot, and it attracts, Bugsnax and things like that. But
yeah, he's like the...
he's like, don't worry, y'all go ahead,
farmer.
I'll catch up. Oh, so the best joke in this game right off the bat, real quick, because I forgot the beginning of it, is when you start off, you were in a meeting with your boss, and she is just basically about to fire you because you were the Grump Squatch turned out to not be real, and your piece was just a fluff piece, and you're in trouble. Yeah. But you're watching this video from Elizabeth. Yeah, it is Elizabeth. I keep getting her and Agabel confused. Yeah, Elizabeth. She's like, come to Bugsnax Island.
Elizabeth.
You're a great reporter. I've seen all your work. Come here. Write a story. Help me tell the story of Bugsnax. So you show your boss this, and your boss is like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And then she's like, but now that I think about it, it could be a good story. She's like, okay, if you go there and you come back with a story and an interview from Elizabeth, you might still have your job. Now, right before this cutscene, it shows you on like an airship, and you're flying into this town, and this big creature comes by and knocks your ship and you fall off of it, and then you're doing this you're running through the island, just kind of giving you the little controls tutorial, and you run up to this cliff, and this big thing comes by, the cliff falls out from under you, you fall, hit the ground, goes black, says 2 weeks earlier, and that's when you're in the interview. And the last thing that your boss says to you is, hey, be safe when you're on that island, kid. Don't go falling off any cliffs or anything, okay? And then it cuts back to your dude just laying at the bottom of the cliff, staring up at the top of it. And I was like, that is a fantastic joke. So Wambert... Right.
That's a good one.
Or when you meet Wambert, when you meet Wambus, he starts introducing you to like how to catch Bugsnax and kind of lure them in. He later on in the game, I'm not going to go through this sequentially, I'm just trying to introduce people, but later on in the game you find out that Wambus has a wife named Triffany. And did you meet Triffany? I don't know if you got that part. Okay, when you meet her, she's like, oh, hello, how are you now?
No, I didn't.
She's like, oh, I'm doing good, don't you know? Like, she's got super, like, what is it, Wisconsin, like that area, or, yeah, just, I think that's a very cute
Midwestern
thing.
accent.
God, it's so funny. I love all of the voices in this game. All of them. The voice actors did great. Anyway, Triffany has left Wambus, and Wambus is like upset. He like stays up at night talking to his cactus because he misses his wife. And you have to go and find her and help. Then you end up having to like try to help them solve their marital problems, and it gets interesting. Who else do you end up coming across? I was gonna go Chandlo. You probably didn't meet Chandlo yet, but he's like, "Yo, what's up, dude?" And he's he's fucking ripped. He is this jacked grumpus, right? Right? And
yeah.
And
I definitely didn't come across him yet, though.
Always around Snorpy. So like when you go to find Snorpy, you're gonna find Chandlo. And one cool thing I thought right off the bat in the game in the beginning, there's a lesbian couple, and it's no big deal. It's not like a thing, you know what I mean? It's just there, which I thought was really cool. Like right off the fucking start, because Elizabeth and Eggabell are in a relationship, and I'm like, well, that's what's up. And they always refer to the player as they or them or buddy, like it's very inclusive, and I thought that was very, very cool. So later on in the game,
that's cool.
Snorpy, who is this big, tall, yellow, like really smart, but thinks the Grumpinati are out to get him, and he's like making you go catch cookies. And then he's like, I need you to catch these cookies for me. And then you hear him talking to Chandlo, and he thinks you can't hear him. He goes, what I'm actually going to do is they be using these cookie snacks to listen to my brain. So if I have them as my teeth, they won't be able to hear anything of my saying. You know, just super whacked out. Loved it. Loved every second of it, because I know people like that.
Wow.
And it just cracked me up. But later on in the game, Snorpy starts telling you that, like, he's got feelings for Chandlo, and they've always been around each other since like kindergarten, and that they've never really said anything, right? So there's a point in the game where at the end where you get a chance to get Snorpy to go talk to Chandlo, and spoilers, by the way, spoilers. And Chandlo's like, what do you want to talk about, Snorpy? Snorpy's like, I just wanted to know if you maybe wanted to, be together, like date. And Chandlo's like, Snorpy, what are you talking about, bro? And Snorpy's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. And Chandler's like, dude, we've been dating for years. And Snorpy's like, what, really? And he goes, dude, you don't remember that time we made out on the way home from the whatever? Snorpy's like, oh, I thought we were roommates with benefits. And he's like, I love you, Snorpy. And he gives him a kiss, and he's like, does that cement it for you? And I was like, oh, it's so cute. It was this nice little heartwarming scene. And let's see, who else do you come by? You talked about Chandlo. Oh, C. Clummy Clumbernut. That's your boss's name. C. Clummy Clumbernut. And she is just a grouch. She talks like this. Hey, you need to go get me a story. She had one too many Grump cigarettes.
Yeah.
Cromdo. You probably didn't get a chance to meet Cromdo, but you were right there. Because you needed to go into the desert, and you would have found him in there. And when you meet him, he's... Yeah. The only way I can describe his voice is Danny DeVito. Hey, kid! Like, when he did Hercules, the animated movie, and he was the Phil, that's the... Hey, kid, come here. I got a bridge to sell you over here. But listen, I'm not responsible if you get hurt on it, okay? Like, and he's got, like, he's red, he's got a tie on, he's got these big teeth right here. I loved him. Apparently, Beffica hates him, and Beffica thinks he's a scumbag. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like he's just your regular sleazy salesman type guy. But dude just cracked me up. And then you have Eggabell and Elizabeth. I'm gonna save those two for last. Talked about Philbo. Philbo just wants everybody to get along. He was upset. Like basically, he's clumsy. When Elizabeth left, she left Philbo in charge. But that didn't last long because nobody takes Philbo seriously. And they all started fighting and split off. He is, trying to get everything back together. He apparently set the town on fire at one point.
Of course he did.
With his weenie hands.
Of course he did.
Speaking of weenie hands, I don't know if we've already touched on this. Bugsnax, when you eat them, you can change part of your body to look like that Bugsnax.
Yeah.
So you end up finding out that your character... personally is allergic to them. You eat them, and then you end up in the bathroom, and the door opens, and Philbo's like, you okay in there, buddy? And your choice is to answer him like, yeah, I'm fine, or like, dude, I need space. So Philbo, man, he kind of comes around at the end. He gets his redemption of just tells everybody, he's like, I might not be as good as Lisbeth, but if we all band together, we might be as good as Lisbeth type thing. And people finally, not really maybe take him seriously, but they accept him more than they do at the story. You have Floofty Fizzlebean, who is Snorpy's brother, and they do not like each other. And yeah, Floofty is a dickhead.
Yeah.
Floofty is like one of those science dudes that like almost like Sheldon, like how he cares about his science and that's it. Except Floofty is more of an asshole than Sheldon. Big Bang Theory is like.
Oh wow.
Like which. I don't particularly care for that show, but I do know like that stereotype, I guess, would be the smart person with Asperger's, like super just like very.
Yeah.
But replace the Asperger's with just general disdain for other people, and that's what you got.
Wow.
He helps you with a few different traps and stuff. I believe he's the one that gives you there's a line trap that you get that will knock out the enemies so you can catch them, and he's like, all right, I will go back to, when you finally convince him to go back to town, he's like, all right, I'll go back to Snacksburg. I can experiment on people. Your character's like, don't you mean with people? And he's like, yes, I'll see you back in town. And scutters off. Apparently, according to this, he is in love with Triffany, and I did not get that interesting. But I also didn't talk to him a bunch. I do want to go back. Maybe we won't do a second episode on it, but I do want to go back and do some of the side quests to fill out some more of the stories.
Yeah.
You meet Gramble, and Gramble's like, all right now, I got my farm, and all these little creatures, they're my friends.
Yeah, he's like the PETA hippie farmer.
Yeah, he left town because Wambus wanted to eat his pets, as he calls them.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's the one, he ends up giving you Strawby. And God, that was hard to do.
Right.
It's like this little ball with a Strawby in it, and you can guide it with a laser light. And there are certain Bugsnax that hide in holes in the wall and stuff that you have to lure them out with that. It can be a pain in the ass to get that thing to do what you want it to do, though. Funny thing about Gramble is, did you ever catch him sleepwalking?
No.
So I'm in town one day, and he's just walking around like a zombie. And I was like, what in the hell? And I talked to him, and it was like, wake him up or don't wake him up. So I didn't wake him up, and I just followed him around for a little bit. And then finally I clicked him again and woke him up. And he went, no, not again. I'm going to have to strap myself down. But he is very close with Wiggle. And oh my God, Wiggle. Like, Wiggle Bottom. She's this tall orange grumpus that wears these star sunglasses. And everything she says is singing. Like, when she talks, she's just like, hi there. My name is Wiggle Bottom, and I was wondering if you would catch me a snack. Like, she talks like Whitney Houston would sing. Like,
she's a wannabe pop
like
star.
Diva. One of the divas from back in the day. That's what she reminds me. Yeah, totally. And dude, she would make me laugh too, because just she was so over the top. Like, always talking about the queen of Bugsnax coming to kill everybody and shit. But she is like, she loves Gramble, like loves him.
Yeah. I remember like when you were first introduced to them, she's singing him this song, and then she's like, "Oh, did you like it?" And he's like, "Do you really want me to answer that?" She's like, "Yeah," and he's like, "No."
It's kind of loud.
Like, she's like, "Is this gonna further our relationship?" Just, no. Like,
oh man. So real quick, a little bit about Triffany, which is Wambus's wife. She is an archaeologist. She's out in this desert area when you eventually find her. You don't find her until you help out Cramdo, and he lets you across the bridge. Chandlo ends up fixing the bridge, and he's like, "Hey, dude, I fixed the bridge for you. Like, I was going to do it earlier, but Cramdo was going to charge me to fix the bridge, and that just doesn't make any sense." So Triffany is finding all of these bones from things that used to live there, and she's wondering like what happened to them. And that's basically her whole thing when you're going around with her. Then you have Shelda, and just quickly about Shelda, she's like the guru. I'm going to go to the other plane of existence, meditation, that kind of person. She's like, I do not need to eat Bugsnax, I only need cheese sauce.
So this island had pretty much every representation of like every clique group.
Yeah. Totally.
Out there, like
totally. She's got a thing for Chandlo, but obviously there's nothing there, and she's not a fan of Floofty at all. Like I said, Floofty's a dickhead. But to bring it back to the Eggabell and Elizabeth, they are a couple, and you are looking for them throughout the game. And you start to find, by finding these 2 different containers in their house and stuff, you go in there, you B&E, and start opening their things, and you find these video reels of different memories. Like the first one is just reiterating that I watched you watch this today, that it's just reiterating that they're a couple, how they're kind of, Agabel is worried about Elizabeth going out and getting hurt, and Elizabeth's going out to bring back these new Bugsnax for Agabel to try. And the next video is like Agabel's been hitting the Bugsnax kind of hard, and Elizabeth's kind of worried about her. They hash it out. Then the next one is Elizabeth coming to check on Agabel, and Agabel's laying in bed, just like over it, depressed, not understanding why she's alive, just saying like, I'm just a failure. And I related to that hard because I have those days. Like, and Elizabeth's like, no, honey, you're amazing. Don't you forget that. And it's just not flying. Like, Agabel's depression's taken over. And I don't remember what the 4th one was, but you eventually find Agabel, and then you tell Filbo. And at the end of the game, you're going through and you're kind of doing. You eventually find Elizabeth. I don't want to spoil too much. Like, I don't know. Like, you find Elizabeth, and it turns out that she is now this big, hideous snack. And she starts talking about how Bugsnax are a parasite. They're not an actual like good thing. They're a parasite that wants to take over your body. They want to learn how your body works, and they want to become you. When you use Bugsnax, you become Bugsnax. The Bugsnax take you over. They start running your thoughts. They start running your motives in life. Everything that you do revolves around Bugsnax and getting more Bugsnax, and doing that is like, look at me.
So the super cutesy, wholesome start of the game just took a wicked turn.
Dark turn. And like,
oh my goodness.
By the end of the game, I'm like, holy shit. In my opinion, this whole game was a metaphor for drugs and like helping people with drug addiction and like other mental problems. And I'm like, fuck, this game got deep. Out of nowhere.
It sounds like it.
Then Agabel is like, telling her, and I mean, Lisbeth is this giant Bugsnax monstrosity thing that throughout the game you will randomly see off in like the distance in little cutscenes when everybody's talking. You'll see a flash of something out of the corner of your eye, and you'll see like a shadow of something moving away, and it's Lisbeth coming to check on everybody, but she's this big monster, so she doesn't come back into town. And Agabel's like, no, you need to come with me. She's like, no, I'm gonna stay here and hold this Bugsnax thing off, because the whole island is a Bugsnax. That's the thing. The island itself is Bugsnax. And she's like, look around you. You see all these bones? These are the other people that were here that were consumed by these Bugsnax and just taken into the world. Wow. She's like, you guys need to get out of here. And Agabel's like, I'm not going without you. Elizabeth's like, get out of here. You can't stay here with me. It's not like you can just become one of these things. And Agabel goes, and walks around the back of her, and then this other big tentacle thing comes out with Agabel on the end of it. And Elizabeth's like, oh, well, I guess it was that easy. So then at this point, they grab you, and she's like, you got to take the fast way out of here, but you and Philbo, you guys have to get everybody out. So they grab you guys, throw you out of this fucking big volcano thing you're in, because the volcano is going off. Like, you guys got to get the hell out of here. So at this point, instead of now having your trap and going around and doing the little puzzles trying to catch these Bugsnax, all of your items that you have been using have now been weaponized by
what?
Yeah, by
so it goes from like a catch and release sort of game to you have to kill these things.
Yeah,
now.
So your trap,
I really need to finish this game. I'm gonna have to come back to it over.
Dude,
over
I'm telling
break.
you, so worth it. Like, you throw your trap out. So, I never even talked about gameplay. Really, I've been too much involved into like what was going on in the game. So when you see the Bugsnax, you throw out this trap, and it's this wooden barrel-looking thing that opens up, and all of the little slats kind of come out at the top, and this blue aura comes out around it. And when it gets into, or I guess it's a white aura, and when a Bugsnax walks into it that you can catch, it turns blue, you hit your trigger, boom, shuts the trap, you go over there. Now, sometimes there are Bugsnax that you have to figure out, okay, this, like a Bugsnax that's freezing cold, like the popsicle ones. If you try to catch them, your trap will be frozen, and when you go to grab it, you'll freeze into an ice block. So what you have to do is lure that Bugsnax into water so it warms it up, and then throw your trap at it and catch it. One of them was a flying s'more that was on fire, and I had to wait. There was this watery area, and you get a thing from Cramdo, that is a launching pad. So I took the launching pad and I put it in the water, and I put my trap on top of it, and I stood under it, and I waited for that thing to fly over me, and I shot the trap up in the air, caught the thing, which my barrel caught on fire, but when it landed in the water, it put the fire out, so I was able to catch it. So it was really cool the way they took Pokemon and added a puzzle element to it, where it's like, you can't just go out and catch whatever the fuck you want. You have to really figure out how to catch some of these, which I thought was awesome.
Yeah.
Now,
that's cool.
Flash forward into the game. You're now running into town trying to save everybody from these Bugsnax that are attacking the town, and they're attacking everybody there. Your trap, instead of catching them now, when you throw it out, when you hit the button to trap, it takes all the slats, slaps them down on the ground, and just smashes the Bugsnax. It's awesome. So you're fighting these Strabbies and Raspberries, and you're just smashing them with the traps. So then you have to use
That's awesome.
every item throughout this ending thing. So then you go to the next area, and you have to save 2 of them. I don't remember which. You have to use the grab claw that you get eventually that shoots out a claw you can grab stuff with. It now has a boxing glove on the end of it. Use it to punch picantises and stuff, which were picante sauce bottles and praying mantises together. And they would go, picantes! When they were coming at you. Dude, they cracked me. They'd be running at me, and I'm running away from it. Just, picantes! 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 Oh, man, I loved every fucking second of it. The trap launching pad, you had to control that, and Cramdo was loading up rocks on it while Beffica was telling you, fire! And then you would shoot these rocks at these enemies that were coming, and then you move on. So the whole time, Bugsnax are approaching while you're trying to keep them away. And if they get too close, they will jump into the mouth of the 2 people that you're defending at each station. And if they eat too many of them, they will be overcome with Bugsnax and die.
Wow.
I managed to get through the whole ending without anybody dying. That way, I got the good ending of the game. But before we get there, if someone dies during this scene, it changes the end of the game. At the end of the game, you save I'll talk about mine, and then we'll talk about the one that I didn't get. So you save everybody, you get onto the airship, and as you're flying away, there's this giant flying monster coming at you. It's this big pizza butterfly looking crazy thing, and you're like, oh no, we're gonna be fucked up. And out of nowhere leaps Eggabell and Lizbert in their big monstrosity ass, and they knock down the big Bugsnax that's coming after you, and they kind of wave goodbye in their way and tell you bye. You guys float off, and then it flashes forward to you guys being on a beach, and you can see the island off in the distance. You can see smoke coming off of it and stuff because the volcano was going off, and you start walking, and all the characters are lined up, like spaced out. So I was like, all right, so this is the end, or you're gonna go through and talk. So I went through and talked to each one of them, and they were all very positive about, like, man, that was crazy out there, but now, like Beffica's like, I lost all my friends, but now I have a chance to make new ones. I went to that island to get away from stuff, but now I think that I'm ready to start rebuilding again. And then you move on to, like, Wambus and Triffany, and they've figured to fix things with their marriage, so now they're going to go and start working together more and listening more to each other. Yeah, everybody kind of solves their, like, own problems. It reminded me of, like, a happy ending. I learned something today at the end of the old South Park episodes.
Yeah.
And you get to Philbo, and he's like, are you ready to go, buddy? And I said no. And then I turned around to make sure I didn't miss anything. And all the characters on the beach were looking at me and smiling. Like, all of them. Like, we're just looking at my character. It was the strangest thing. And I was like, oh, I wish I could wave, because I feel like I should wave at these people.
Right.
Like, thanks for the last 10 hours of my life. And I turned back around, and I told Philbo, yeah, I'm ready to go. So then he loads up. He's like, I actually don't have anywhere to go. Do you mind if I stay with you for a while, buddy? And your guy's like, yeah, Philbo, come on. You can stay with me. Flash forward, it shows you that everybody's doing all right in the post-credit scene. Now, real quick, if you were to let any of them die during that last scene, then this walk on the beach isn't so happy. Everybody's, like, pessimistic and doesn't really end up fixing anything in their lives. Like, it's fucked up. But because you were able to keep their bond strong and everyone survived, they're all like, we made it, So you are in your boss's office, and she's like, man, this story is incredible. Honestly, I wouldn't even believe you had you not had this Philippus person with you. And he's like, it's actually Philbo. She's like, yeah, whatever. But it doesn't matter. You're fired anyway. Your character's like your dialogue choices were like something, I don't remember what it was, and then, what? So I went with that one. And she's like, yeah, you lost your job the minute you walked out that door. I didn't even expect you to come back, honestly. Well, damn. And then she just gets up and leaves.
Wow.
And Philbo's like, well, that's okay, buddy. We'll figure it out. We got to go. I'm actually thinking about running for mayor. So Philbo ends up apparently running for mayor and winning.
Wow.
So he's now mayor of Grumpsville. And this brings me to the post-credits. I'm watching the credits, and I'm listening to Kinda Bug and Kinda Snack. Try to catch it in your trap. And I start hearing some voices, and it's your boss lady. And she's talking to this voice that's like, hello. She's like, no, they didn't know at all. Either they didn't know, or they're complete fucking idiots, or they're lying to me. He's like, well, there's some more conversation, but they end it with the mysterious voice says, Tu quid edas, which translates to "you are what you eat." To which Clumpy responds with "Omne vivium ex Bugsnax," which loosely translates to "everything living comes from Bugsnax."
They leaving it open for a sequel.
So at that moment, the ship that y'all came home on, a Strawbee, one singular Strawbee, jumps off and starts running towards the city that everyone's in. And then it cuts to black. So yeah, totally left it open for a sequel, and I am all over it. If they do a Bugsnax 2, count me the fuck in.
Yeah.
Like, man.
I think a lot of people are like in that same mindset. I've seen nothing but love for this game across social media.
I saw one person do a YouTube video shitting on it, and it had more dislikes than likes last time I checked on YouTube. People were flipping the fuck out like, how could you not like this? Eric from Factory Sealed said that he's been playing it, and he said one of the best parts to him was hearing his kids playing it in the other room and laughing, like just hearing how funny they thought it was.
Yeah.
And he said that he's been really enjoying it too, and I told him, I warned him on Facebook, I said, I'm not going to spoil anything, bro, but this game's really funny and sweet until it's not.
Yeah.
And then it is no longer funny and sweet for a little while. It is like very dark. But fuck, bro, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, dude. This gets 10 out of 10 Bugsnax from me. I can't believe I got 2 perfect scores in a row, but like,
yeah,
to me, for a short 10-hour experience with a great story, it looked fantastic. Like, this was the perfect type of game for me, because I love Pokemon style games like Catch and like Digimon, all of that, and to take that and then put a story that is very well disguised, but if you dig deeper, there is a lot to it. Yeah. That's all. I'm all about that, dude.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed that I didn't get to play any further than what I did, but from what I played, I was really enjoying it. Like, I'm definitely gonna have to come back to it over break.
Oh yeah, I will. I'll be bugging you to see how far you've gotten along in it. So don't worry. You'll either get annoyed and say fuck it, I'm never playing this again, or you'll be like, yeah, I'll go finish it real quick. Because you've probably, judging if you're like 2 or 3 zones in, you've probably got like 4 hours left.
That's not bad.
Not a lot. And I know that you're probably not gonna dig through all the side quests and stuff. So it would probably take longer, because it would have taken me longer had I done all of the side quests, which I am totally, like I said, I'm totally going to go back and do.
Yeah.
But I think that about covers Bugsnax, man. Like, goddamn. Anybody right now, as far as I know right now, Bugsnax is free. If you got a PlayStation 5 and you have PS Plus, it is free on PlayStation Plus right now. All right, so I need our number generator.
Yeah.
We need.
Are you going into the RPG or JRPG section?
I am going to go into the JRPG section, because we already pretty much figured out that we're going to do either Skyrim or The Witcher.
Yeah.
Which we can solve that right now. Skyrim will be number 1, and The Witcher will be number 2. Or do you got something pulled up?
Yeah. Oh, I have Penny. We could do heads, tails.
Yeah, we could do that if you want. My generator gave me Skyrim, but if you want to do the Penny,
I'm down for Skyrim. I've been wanting to play the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think that's my fault when I started just like rambling on about all the shit that I've been doing recently. I could see it in your eyes. You're like, oh man, because I remember me and you had a blast running around when I was up there playing it on Switch.
Yeah.
Which, playing it on Switch, totally viable. But when I came home and loaded that shit back up on my PC, I was like, holy fuck, the difference in the graphics is ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right, so.
What'd you get, Persona 5?
No, that's not on PC. That would be fantastic. No, we got The Legend of Heroes, Trails in the Sky. It's the first game in that series. That's the series that I said, when we get to this series, we're playing it in order.
Yeah.
But we got the first game. So that works perfectly. That was number 68. So then that brings me to, which one would you like to do first? You want to go into Skyrim first? You want to dive into the JRPG and then do Skyrim after that?
Let's do Skyrim first.
Do Skyrim first? All right.
Yeah. So I know you played it a lot longer than I have, and if we only want to do like 2 weeks or so, like 2 episodes for that game. You can talk a lot more about it.
We might be able to stretch out Skyrim into 3. Like we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Because I would like to be able to beat the main story and talk about it, beat some of the DLC and talk about it. But there's a couple mods that I also want to play and talk about too that I have. The Forgotten City is one of them that is supposed to be like an expansion itself. So yeah, that'll be cool. Then our next episode will be on the Elder Scrolls Skyrim, and then after that, man, Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky. I'm excited, and actually, I shout out to our buddy James from the JRPG Report. I'm probably going to bug him to guest on one of those episodes when we do that show, because I know that he has played that game at my request. Like I told him. Yeah, they're on PC, man. They're really good. He really likes the Trails of Cold Steel games, which are the sequels to it. So when he went back and played those, he said that those are equally just as good. It's a fantastic series. So today, there are 2 games in the series that have not been released over here yet, and they are Trails from Zero and Trails of Azure. And I found an English patched PC version today.
Nice.
And checked it out, and it worked. Everything went smooth. The people who needed to get their money for it got their money for it, with all of that good jazz, and loaded it up. Worked fine. My controller works for it. So I fucking, it was a DRM free thing, so I zipped it up, sent it to James, was like, hey bro, I know you've been talking about wanting to play this forever. I found a working version. Here you go. And he was like, thank you. And it was really cool. So he said that he probably won't get to that till next year, but shit, that whenever. I'm just glad that I could help him out.
Yeah.
So I will probably add that as well. That way I can sneak it in there. Oh, speaking of the list, I added a couple Sword Art Online games.
I know you started the anime.
Yeah, and I started the anime because the games were stupid cheap, and I got a couple of them, and I'm like, I hear good things about this show all the time. I'm gonna fucking check it out. And 4 episodes in, I'm like, damn, this is really cool. I really like it. Now,
I figured you would like it.
I will say
it's not much my thing, but
one of the guys in the Tadpog Discord was like, oh man, season 1 is amazing. Everything after that sucks ass. And I'm like, oh, but it's got like a bunch of seasons. He's like, yeah, I know. I was like, oh, all right. But it did introduce me to a conversation in that Discord where I now have a bunch of different animes to check out.
Yeah.
And one of them, I can't remember the name of it right offhand, but I'm going to send it to you. I think it's called like Kanji the something gambler. Anyway, it's about high stakes gambling, and it just seems ridiculous.
There's one on Netflix, Kakaguri, and that's like about high stakes gambling, and it's fantastic. I love that one.
This thing about this Kaiji show is it says that everything about it is made to just be off. Like the drawing, the animation has very sharp facial points and stuff, and it makes people look very demonic. The whole show is supposed to be uncomfortable because it's like the main guy gets into these situations where like you are uncomfortable watching him because the person that I was watching describe this in a video was like, this is the only show I've ever seen make someone tossing a set of dice seems like it could be fucking life or death, and I'm on the edge of my seat waiting to see what these dice land on. I'm like, wow, that's pretty impressive. But yeah, so up next, like we said, Skyrim, and then we're gonna do Legend of Heroes, Trails in the Sky. I am super excited for that. Some housekeeping here at the end. We now have a threadless store. Like, that's fucking random, I know. But if you go to our Facebook page, pinned in the pinned post, you will find a link to our threadless store if you want to get a shirt with our logo on it, or a face mask with our logo on it. Do you have a baby? Because you can get baby clothes with our logo on it. It's like, there's all kinds of, you want to skateboard with our logo on it? It's got that shit too. There's all kinds of stuff on there. I also pinned the Discord link. If you would like to join our Discord and come in and chat with us about games, feel free to curse just as much as we do. It's a open zone. Just no hate speech if you join, please. That's all we ask, no hate speech. But other than that, you want to say fuck a diddle doon dong, go ahead, say fuck a diddle doon dong. And if you want to find us on Facebook, you can go to facebook.com/The Steam Machine Podcast, or you can find us on Twitter at Steam_podcast. I'm always around there trying to post stuff to make y'all laugh, or updates, little news bits that I find. And just fuck it, I'm gonna self plug too. I just released a new album
Yeah.
If you go to bandcamp.com/Nile the Nightmare, I believe it is Nile the Nightmare. uh, I like to write music that I like to sit around and get stoned to listen to.
Yeah.
So I like to think that other people like to sit around and enjoy the music too. I've gotten some good feedback from the 2 people that I've asked about it so far, you being one of them.
Yeah, I like it.
And I know, like, you would tell me if it was not up to par, so
yeah,
it makes me happy to hear that. It's $8 for 17 songs. You're welcome to pay more than that, but I only charge $8. I think it's worth it, but that's relative. Yeah. Worth is relative. Other than that, I think that about does it for this week, man. Is there anything else you'd like to touch on?
No, not really. I'm just ready for work to end so I can really dive into our next 2 games. Because I know they're going to be long and worth the time, so.
That's right, you fucking milk drinker. I'll see you in the world of Tamriel. For this week's Steam Machine Podcast, he's Ryan, I'm Dalton, and as always, guys, take it easy.
Find a bargain kind of snack, try to catch them in your trap. Feed somebody and you'll see me or whatever we eat. Find them hiding in the sand, tearing up a ketchup patch. Come to snap to violence and discover Bugsnax.